Welcome to another edition of the National Agenda, and today's edition is a very special one. We are almost bringing the year to an end, and so on the show today we have decided to do a review of the political year, the 2025 political year. So we want to look at some of the key highlights or issues or situations that, occurred during the 2025 political year. I have two very important personalities with me today to help me do this review. But before that, my name is Samuel Ofoibanfo, and once again, this is the National Agenda. Stick and stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. Let me go straight and introduce to you my guest in the studio. So I have my regular, Nazil Saeed. It's good to have you.
It's a pleasure.
Good. And with him is Nelson Jata. He's a political commentator and a youth activist as well. Jata, it's good to have you in the studio.
The pleasure is always mine.
It's been a year, let me put it like that. A very interesting year, to be precise. I mean, looking at the fact that we came right after the election, period, and we started the 2025 year with the swearing in of the president of the country and to implementation of policies, a Jumera, to, all the issues that happened. We have also visited the court so many times this year. Ordinarily, this is something that normally would happen prior to elections, if I should say. But it's been different. We've also seen, change in other policies of the previous government. We have seen a lot of things happening. So let me come to you, Jata. What are your initial, thoughts when you think about 2025 as a political year?
Thank you very much, Ophobi, and my greetings to my very good brother. It's always a privilege to share the same platform with him. I mean, I texted him after our last show that he's very, very deep in thinking, and I appreciate all that he is doing. So, Ophobi, I also greet our viewers, and we thank them for always following us. So, 2025 has been a very great year, and as a matter of fact, Ghanaians do not regret the decisions they made during the 2024 elections.
And what makes you say so?
I say that on authority because, the first thing that is most important to every individual is their welfare. Okay. And for your welfare to be okay, you need to be able to have some level of funds, some level of comfort. You need to have some level of security. And when we look, so I'm going to speak about the economy, yes, because that's one of the most important things to the citizens in this country. And when you look at the economy, the current state of the economy right now, President John Dramani Mahama has outperformed because even though we knew that he was the hope, we did not expect the speed at which he would just transform the economy. It appeared as though it's a magic. And that is the main reason why the NPP, they doubt. And so they are still like, the dollar is going to jump before Christmas. The dollar is going to jump before Christmas. But Christmas is here. The dollar is still not jumping. And as a matter of fact, the dollar initially was somewhere around 17 Ghana cedis. Today, the dollar is around 11 cedis. Inflation was around 54%. And then today, inflation is around 6.3%.
So, look, there is also the school of thought that believes that, this is still early days yet. It's still the first year. Most often than not, it is in the first year that most of these adjustments are easily made. Once budgetary allocations are made and then the reality sets in, things change. Are we not going to see the same thing going forward?
No, Ophobi, when we look at the outcomes, I would want us to also look at the costs or the reasons that for which we are getting this result. And it's a matter of fact that the president is making sure there is a level of fiscal discipline. And as we speak, we are not borrowing money to finance most of the things we are doing. Okay. So clearly, and as we speak today, we are able to clear our debts. Some time ago, we were not able to clear our debts. Our economic reserves depleted badly, and we almost got out of the international, how do they even call it? We got out of the
IMF.
We got to IMF, and then that's how come, so right. The economy is not running at the back of loans It is we are using he's using policies from gold board, for instance, and the fact that the corruption has been minimized effectively. So I mean, there is
All
hope
right.
that things are going to
All right.
get
On
better.
on that hope grounds, let me quickly move to Nazil. Nazil, 2025 as a political year.
Phoebe, thank you very much. First of all, as I always do, I'll send out greetings to the 35 million well-meaning Ghanaians and our viewers out there, and also extend greetings to my brother here, Jata. 2025, as we all know, has been a very, very, very big year in review, being a transitional year, seeing the people whom we seek to see no more ousted from office, and a new regime that came into reset all facets of this country's economy take over. Lo and behold, every nook and cranny of this country have tasted a bit of the reset. And even if you ask a baby today, they would be able to tell you that there's been a fresh wave of green air blowing from north to south in the country. Ofobi, it is unequivocally true that there's been significant strides by this current government. There's been significant achievements, monumental ones that everybody in every facet of this country's economy can point out to. Talk of food inflation depleting, talk of fuel prices, talk of transport fares. There are basic things that we identify with, and we see that the standard of living is getting better and better day in, day out. So we do not need to bore our people with economic lectures and put out technicalities in words and economic terms. But in the lives of the average Ghanaian, are they seeing transitions? When you go to the streets, that is what they are telling you. The reset is active. What are we doing with corruption? You can see the reset is active. Oral has done reports. First of the Attorney General is doing a lot of work. You see narcotics control always in the news. They are doing their work. All the security agencies are up and doing infrastructural development. You've seen what the budget for 2026 seeks to do. CAPEX, fully active. Cutting off unnecessary expenditure, waste from our economy is very much active. So Phoebe, I don't even want to go deep, but from the very fundamentals that we've seen in this country, as I keep saying, the whole country has turned into a construction site. Construction of roads, big pushes doing its thing. Hospitals are being completed. New ones are being built. There are plans to put up stadia and many, many more. So the average Ghanaian is seeing the monumental strides that this transitional year has brought to them. So for many of them, if today we should go again to the ballot, the overwhelming majority of the 1.8 million might triple, all in support of the very National Democratic Congress that has brought this good news and good signs of living to the average
All
Ghanaian.
right. So let me quickly ask. You have stated all these things as some successes that have been chopped, but we still have some pockets of challenges that the political year came with, especially for the incumbent government, and notably the challenge of Galamsey, and also the challenges with nurses and teachers who have not been assigned, to their various duty posts as it stands now. You understand? So I want us to quickly have a look at that. The challenges that this year came along with as a government. What are some of the challenges, and how were you able to overcome, and what do you even seek to do?
All right, thank you very much, Ophobi, for pointing me in this direction. So if you are going to be very candid on this matter, the issue of Galamsey and the issue of unposted teachers has been a long-age problem that we have all been challenged with. When for instance, with the matter of teachers, we have backlog ranging as far back as 2020, 2021. Even the CTAC teachers who were complaining of the allowances complained as far back as 2020, 2021. Our brothers and sisters from the teacher training associations of Ghana who were complaining about not being posted. Also backlogs that we took up from the exile administration. And I should tell you, I have always believed, a firm believer, that government is indeed a continuum. So whenever such issues come up, it is the responsibility of the government of the day to take up these things and make sure that we rectify them. What has the government of the day done? Now, the allowances of the teachers have been paid, with the extra allowances given to them as of this month, 18th December, before even the month ended. Honorable Minister Haruna Idrisu has done it. He mentioned that he was going to do it, and he has actually done it. So the CTAC teachers are actually heading back to the classes. all our teachers at the junior and secondary levels to have been compensated appropriately with all the allowances fully paid. Now, the minister, through the 2026 budget, also indicated that there's going to be an enrollment of teachers next year. About 16,000 of them are going to be enrolled in the coming year. So it should tell you that gradually there are plans to make sure that whatever wrong was done in the past, whatever ill was done, is being corrected in the near future. Let me quickly snap to the issue of Galamsey. Exactly. I've always maintained that the issue of Galamsey, or the Galamsey narrative itself, is one of an existential threat to our society, and people who are involved in it are tantamount to being seen as environmental terrorists. And we all know how terrorists are treated across the length and breadth of the country. The rank and file of the party, the rank and file of the incumbent government itself does not think otherwise. And as a matter of fact, they are doing everything within their power to make sure that these issues are rectified. It started with the repealing of LI 2462, and that is a good step in the right direction. We've seen the activities of the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, over 1,000 arrests in this period of 8 or 7 months. And we've seen a strong commitment by the central government and all other government agencies to complement the efforts. The introduction of Gold Board to conduct tracer studies and make sure that we phase out illegitimate gold that are being produced on many of these Galamsey sites. They should tell you that there's a strong will by the central government, if for anything at all. I don't want to remind us of our sorrow, but we lost gallant men of government. We lost cabinet ministers. We lost big men in the National Democratic Congress. We lost statesmen in the cause to fight Galamsey. It should tell you that the commitment to fight Galamsey on the part of this government is unrelenting and is very clear and glaring in the eyes of Ghanaians. And we will continue to make sure that we hit the nail right on its head to make sure that we curtail the incidence of Galamsey. And believe you me, before His Excellency John Dramani Mahama leaves government, just as the Water Resources Commission reports and other reports keep indicating that water turbidity levels are looking good, the NTU, everything is getting better. Eventually, over 9 forest reserves have been reclaimed, currently sitting under military protection 24/7. So gradually, Ofobi, we're going to make sure that we rectify every sector of this country.
All right. So let me quickly find out, how do you respond to, concerns that are being raised on the backdrop of the fact that this government came in with the promise of fighting corruption, and yet it doesn't look like a single person has even been prosecuted and proven guilty, or we've not seen any tangible effort or result that confirms to every Ghanaian that, look, this government is, yes, indeed up to fight corruption, especially looking at the fact that ORA, for instance, like you mentioned, has brought up a certain number of reports indicating that certain number of people must be prosecuted. Notable amongst them is the issue of our former finance minister, as it stands now. So what will be your response to those concerns?
All right, thank you very much, Ofobi. I think the criticisms are very constructive and they are in the best interest of each and every Ghanaian. It will surprise you to know that even the entrenched people in the National Democratic Congress are part of the people criticizing the state agencies for not expediting some of these activities. Okay. So when you listen to Manasseh Azure, when you listen to other people who have decided to be part of the fourth arm of government, the media, and also offer constructive criticisms to many of these state agencies while complimenting them with their efforts, it's a step in the right direction, because as I sit here personally, I want to see a prosecution happen. I want to see people repay their amounts they stole from government. I want to see people being sent behind bars for the crimes they have committed against this country, from depleting our natural resources and what have you. People must pay for it. But Ofobi, I'll be a liar to tell you that as a believer in the principle of rule of law, it is also important for me to acknowledge that indeed the wheels of justice grind slowly, not just in Ghana, but across the world. So it's very important that in a criminal trial, where it's not just a civil case, but a criminal case for that matter, you don't expect naturally to get a prosecution, or you don't expect to get a judgment in the space of 8 or 9 months. But it takes a while.
If that is the case, then I think we may be doing ourselves more harm than good, because you look at how certain cases are, treated with some level of importance and emergency as compared to this type of case. For instance, we look at the disputes that the issue about the Panda election, for instance.
Yeah.
You saw how the court, responded
that is what I'm talking
to that
about.
appeal quickly.
That's what I'm talking
as compared to an issue like the NSS scandal.
That's what I'm talking
came up.
about. That's what the disparity is. So
exactly.
in a civil matter of mere litigation, of interpretation of the constitution in a matter of the Pandai election, it is easier done because it's a matter of interpretation and it's a civil case. But when it comes to a criminal case, the prosecution is responsible of proving without beyond reasonable doubt to the panel, and it takes a lot of time before all the processes are held. It will take quite some time, even before the arguments of the Attorney General is upheld to go on trial. You have to do significant evidence to convince the court that there is indeed merit in this matter, and as such, it should proceed to a trial. Okay. So there are a lot of hurdles they have to cross to get there. But believe you me, in a space of 4 years, 8, 16, or 32 that the NDC is going to rule, these trials will continue to.
You think the NDC is doing 16 years?
I mean, it is possible, right? In the words of the MPP, it is possible.
All right, Data, let me quickly come to you as a youth activist and somebody who has always been at the forefront for the youth. I want to find out, how has the year been for the youth, especially looking at the political decisions that have been taken by the incumbent government?
Thank you very much, Ophobi. So the main problem that disturbs the youth a lot is it's mainly about employment and the fact that they have to, go through a lot of struggles to secure jobs and all of that. And as a matter of fact, another thing also that mainly worried the youth this year was the national service posters. And even as we speak today, a lot of national service personnel are yet to be posted to just so they can do their service. Some people have also been posted to companies, and the companies are not willing to give them acceptance letter because I understand that there are certain internal pipelines that are being followed in various companies. And so on that tangent, I think employment is
a key
issue this year for the youth. And my brother addressed the fact that the unemployment issue is not a consequence of bad decisions made by the NDC government, but it's a matter of it's an inherited problem that the current government had from the previous administration, which was mainly because they failed to fulfill their mandate and they are part of the social contract.
So I mean, as an advocate for the youth, what should be the way forward? What should we do?
So for what the way forward now is that the president on the day is, the president is we have a listening president, and we have, cried so many years. This is the reason why we brought him into power. And when he came, he's not just, giving us hope alone, but he's actually giving actions. And Ophobi, as we speak today, the only way we can get jobs in this country is when jobs are created. We will not, if the jobs are not created, how do we get people to fill in those offices? So what the president promised was what? A 24-hour economy.
But what has happened with that? Because we have
24-hour economy is one topic or policy that many people pretend that as though they do not understand it. But when we explain it to them, they end up saying that it is already in process. They'll tell you that pharmacies, nurses, hospitals are already. But Ophobi, as we speak today, I want us to, because this platform is a very educated, I want us to view the 24-hour economy in a very different limelight.
Let's go.
It is something. It's a policy. It is not an event. It is a process, and that process is such in a way that it creates an enabling environment for businesses to thrive and to expand by virtue of giving them stable electricity, security, and then also giving them certain tax reliefs, which is to just to
allow them operate.
And as we speak today, it's a matter of fact that DVLA is currently operating on a 24-hour economy. Companies like
Ghana Publishing,
Ghana
Ports and Harbour.
Ghana Ports Harbour Authority, and even recently, Tema Oil Refinery is also has also begun operating a 24-hour economy. And
when are we seeing this operation expand? Okay, I'm holding on for you.
For Tema Oil Refinery, it will surprise you to know that the NPP government and a former president, Nana Akufo-Addo Dankwa, wanted to sell the company for $22 million US. But then, in just a period of 9 months that the NDC is in government, would you believe that we made a profit of over $21 million US in just a period of 9 months? The same company they wanted to sell for 21. They wanted to sell it for 22, and we are now making a profit of $21 million US in just 9 months. So, how do you see the future? The future is pregnant, and it all shows the commitment of the government. And Ophobi, when these expansions are being made, recruitments are also underway.
Okay.
Personally, about 3 of my friends got employed recently at DVMA.
Okay.
People are getting jobs. And so when we continue on this tangent, it is crystal clear that more jobs will be created. And we are looking forward to more companies expanding to absorb more people. And the press Ejumawura, the introduction of the Ejumawura program, for instance.
I was just about to go there. Most of the policies, or let me say, some of the policies are policies that people have argued that these are not policies that are sustainable, like a Jumeirah, like the Blue Water Guard. Even though they are not sustainable, just a couple of days ago, we have seen another batch of, Blue Water Guards, how do I put it? Passed out to go and operate. You understand? However, I mean, the concerns are coming. Are these jobs that we can sustain? Because we've seen similar ones in the past that, like NAPCO, after situations we could not sustain them. You understand? So I just want to ask. I just want to find out, how can we even sustain some of these policies, the Jumeirah, Nkokon Kitinkete, and you know them. So let me find out from you.
For policies like Ejumewura and Nkokon Kitinkete, they are not just projects to just grant you a job. They provide you with the necessary skills, and they mainly usher you into entrepreneurship. Okay. And the main problem with us as a country is the majority of, young people are not willing to go into entrepreneurship, mainly because they lack the skills, and also probably they'll be given excuses of lack of capital. So what these programs mainly do is to train you on the job, give you startup capitals, and so it's not about this. I don't think the sustainability. Let me just speak on the Blue Water Guard. So this, how many years have we been battling Galamsey?
So many years.
For so many years.
Decades.
So if Blue Water Guards is being established to employ people to help fight Galamsey, how do you question its sustainability? And also, we also understand that currently under the YEA project, for instance, we also understand that the opportunity will be given to some of them to also get into the security services. So there's no end to it. It's a continuous process. It's a ladder that they have to climb.
And do you think the voices of the youth in this regard has been heard? Do you think the youth have actually been involved in that decision making? Are these jobs that the youth really want to get entangled with or do?
Ophobi, why not? I mean, there are different, all fingers are not the same. Job that you may want to do, I may not want to do it. So at every point in time, life has made us understand that, we are different people, different skills, different ambitions. The path you don't want to take, someone is willing to take it, and someone is willing to embrace it.
Okay.
And that might be the person's breakthrough, or even step as a stepping stone to usher the person into higher grounds.
All right. I'll come back to you. Nazo, what is the government doing to sustain these kind of policies or projects that looks like they are not sustainable? I mentioned the similar one, NAPCO. And I keep saying NAPCO because a number of Ghanaian youth were on board. But what happened? A lot of them are home now. So what is the government doing to sustain these projects? And in fact, we want to keep working. We want to help and serve our nation.
All right. Thank you very much, Ophobi. So before I enter it, we have to draw a clear dichotomy between what NAPCO was and what Ejumewura and Nkokon Kitinkete, for instance, seeks to do. So NAPCO was just, as I keep saying, it was an unreliable, unsustainable, and vulnerable form of employment.
And what makes you say so?
The HR professionals will tell you, because they were underpaid, they were not so much resourceful in their various institutions that they were put, and it was obviously very, very, very not sustainable, because there was no plan for you to post graduates, unemployed graduates, to institutions where there are service personnel, they are interns, to complement the efforts of the institutions. Many complained that even the offices they were entering had no spaces, they had no chairs for them. The last time I checked, I could see the CEO of NEIP lawyer Eric J, taking them through intensive training programs to abreast them with basic entrepreneurial principles, financial prudence and management, to abreast them with issues within the sector, to make them prudent in their line of work. So this should tell you how sustainable and strict they are going to be supervised to make sure that they become heroes of entrepreneurs. So that is the disparity between what we are doing and what the actual administration did.
Nelson, we are leaving. I would want us to quickly take a bite on the issue of the press. We've seen a number of arrests. People have made a certain type of statement and got arrested. Quickly, let's take a bite on it in a couple of seconds.
So, Ofobi, the reset agenda that President John Dramani Mahama is operating under is such that, he also aims to, in as much as we want to give press that freedom, I think the press must also be regulated, because the content that goes out there is going straight to the consumers and for public education. So we cannot allow certain, media houses that are found of sending out misleading information. It is necessary that they will be regulated.
I would say it was overwhelming to some point, and politically, I believe that we as a people have made some level of progress. So thank you so much, and hopefully we'll see you in the next episode. All right, so viewers, fortunately or unfortunately for us, 2025 as a year under review, look, it looks too huge. We cannot finish it all because of our time. Now, what I recommend is that you stay with us. Watch the next episode, because in the next episode, we'll be looking at how the various sector ministers have performed, and we'll look at what we should expect from the incumbent government in the next year, 2026. This has been the National Agenda, and my name still remains Samuel Fobi Banfo. See you in the next episode.